The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
Hey, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we
explore a return.
explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
That's right. To recover our natural health and our rights and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful morning. It's like 57 degrees.
Nice. Got to wear a coat this morning.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too. 55 degrees and clear skies. Mostly clear all week, so it's going to be pretty nice. Maybe Friday a little rain. I'd like to remind people that pick up the Primal Edge. Now we have a February 1st, $25 off when you subscribe to the Primal Edge. That gives you quite a bit of a discount.
That's a great discount. Good time to stock up, maybe even.
It is, and if you want to get an extra bottle, you can do that under the discount. And the other thing is, of course...
We talked about it last week,
Yes.
that actually the fulvic and the humic is a very good substance to help us bind these viral and bacterial elements that we may be exposed to.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about the coronavirus, of course, and the newsletter is full of the coronavirus also. So please pick that up. It's only $10 a month and $5 each issue. It comes out the 1st and the 15th. So,
and if you're up and at it, give us a call at 877-927-6648.
yeah. So coronavirus, China admits that, and it says here, will admit that the coronavirus is coming from its P4 lab. And that's interesting.
Yeah, it's the Chinese Communist Party. It's going to admit it, and it's actually a lab that is linked to its covert biological weapons programs. There's a map there, Nico.
Yep.
It's really showing how close that seafood market is, 20 miles to that Institute of Virology.
In fact, there's quite a few markets there, too. And that's disturbing. The thing is, they're saying that when they take these viruses, they actually try to enhance them and then try to come up with a inoculation to get the more enhanced version down. Somehow this escaped. They're kind of admitting that now.
Yeah, the Chinese Communist Party admits to the public of an accidental leak of the lab-created virus from the P4 lab in Wuhan, and puts the blame on human error, but the official announcement is still yet to be finalized.
Yeah, this lab focuses on the control of emerging diseases and stored purified SARS and other types of viruses. It is supposed to act as a WHO reference laboratory linked to similar labs around the world. So this is not the only lab.
Did you see how they were trying to skate around it, though? They started out initially saying that it was due to people eating bats. And then they're kind of like, okay, we lied.
Yeah. Well,
we told a story.
Yeah. The Chinese government deliberately covered up and delayed the reporting and contamination of the mysterious pneumonia. They allowed the fear to spread, blah, blah, blah. Well, the thing I found interesting, I have this other article here, so let me go to that. And this was about one of the markets that's near there. And let's see where is it?
My thought is I think there was someone incentivized to release it because there's powers that be that will benefit from something like this. And I think that's more likely the case.
That's a possibility, of course, but one of the things we have here is this market. So these people process chicken feet, they get paid by the basket. They figured out that it's a lot easier to doing it with your teeth and a lot faster. They supply them with pliers, but most of them, and they had a video in this article, and the video's gone now, so they took down the video. But you can plainly see here that these people are doing this, and then those chicken feet go into being processed farther. And whether a virus can get in there from that, I don't know.
That's Thailand.
Yeah, that's Thailand. They do it everywhere, but this is the one that's China, and this is that very market.
Right.
So that's kind of
Well,
discouraging.
they've been doing that for a long time.
Well, they have, and also if you go to some of those markets, there's meat hanging everywhere, there's flies on them. This is part of the culture, and you wouldn't think that maybe that would bother you and me, but there it doesn't bother people, and that's the way they've eaten for thousands of years.
Exactly.
So it may not be that, it may be more the escape from the lab. But
I mean, to me, that's kind of a no-brainer. If you look at that, I mean, that would be more of a bacterial thing than a viral breeding ground. That's kind of just to scare people.
And I'm thinking, you know, if I'm going to be building one of these really labs where I'm maybe developing some kind of bioweapon,
because you get funding from eugenicists that actually like to do
you know,
this.
whatever they're doing there, but I would think you wouldn't want it in a city.
Right.
You'd want it maybe in Antarctica or the Arctic someplace where there's nobody around, and if something escapes, a penguin might die or something. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, why are they putting labs like this near
In
population?
heavily populated areas. Very good point.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's a really good point. Look, here are some of the key points. The remaining question is whether they did do it on purpose as a desperate attempt to stay in power or co-collaborate with other people that would benefit from owning a vaccine patent and that kind of a thing. There's no final conclusion, but the Wang Quishan visited Wuhan secretly during the time of the first sign of the deadly virus, and the Chinese top kleptocrats like Han Xing did not respond to any early reports of the mysterious pneumonia sent by the government of Hubei province. So, you know, these are some of the key points that kind of make it look suspicious. The Chinese government deliberately covered it up, and they delayed the reporting. And the contaminant of mysterious pneumonia, and the Chinese kleptocrat. The vice president of China told his friend confidentially that the outbreak would end in February while the epidemic is spreading out of control.
Now, another thing that I found was this Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise, which was on October 18th of 2019. And this event was a 3.5-hour pandemic laptop exercise that simulated a series of dramatic scenario-based facilitated discussions about the viruses and things like that. So the purpose of this was to see that there's a growing number of epidemic events amounting to approximately 200 events annually. So they're trying to dissect this whole thing. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, this is, you know, part of that exercise. And maybe it did escape from something like this. I don't know. You know, these are, and of course, this focuses on Johns Hopkins, health security, the World Economic Forum, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation joining these recommendations for this type of exercise. So what you said before. So, you know, these things.
Yeah. You know, Bill Gates has a crystal ball, and he said 65 million people could die from it.
I read that too.
Yeah.
So, but how do these people, have they already got a vaccine for the people who are supposed to survive if that scenario is going on?
Oh, they always have a vaccine for the chosen ones, for the ones that are in the club.
Yeah.
And you and I and everyone listening
We're not invited.
We're not in the club, as George Carlin said.
That's right. Yeah, he definitely said that, and I love that guy. And that's the way it is. We don't really know what's going on. I think we should talk about how to protect yourself. So during the next segment, we'll do that. And you know, while you're doing that, please take advantage of the Primal Edge $25 discount right now, and we'll see you after the break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
We're kind of talking about the origin of the coronavirus. It looks like China is going to admit that it was one of their labs that released it. And just over 3 months ago, folks, a high-level pandemic exercise entitled Event 201 was actually held in New York City. What do you know? Doesn't it seem like every time there's some type of tragedy, there's actually a training exercise going on?
Especially in the shootings. But
It's always. Isn't that stellar? On October 18th, as we said, Nico mentioned it, Johns Hopkins Center, Bill and Melinda Gates brought together 15 leaders of business, government, and public health to simulate a scenario in which a coronavirus pandemic was ravaging the planet. And the author says, I find it quite interesting that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was involved because they are also financial backers of the institute that was granted a U.S. patent for an attenuated coronavirus in November 2018.
The Tomer's simulation imagined a fictional virus called CAPS, C-A-P-S. The analysis, part of a collaboration with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, looked at what would happen if a pandemic originated in Brazil's pig farms.
Yeah, so even though the outbreak was quite limited, the scenario ultimately showed that a coronavirus pandemic could kill 65 million people. Well, based on Bill Gates' TED Talk, that's hitting some numbers for him because he said if we're lucky, and we vaccinate people, we'll have a 15% population reduction. That's probably,
Well, China might want to do that, especially they have so many men. A podcast I was listening to late last night before I went to bed was talking about how this virus seems to be shedding before the symptoms are there. And then you're shedding while you've got the virus, and then the symptoms kind of go away for a little while. But then, in some people, it re-emerges even more powerful afterwards. And during that time when you're not asymptomatic after you've had it, you're still shedding. So this becomes a real problem if this is true, because then all your symptoms are gone, you feel like everything is okay, and then it may hit you again, or you just may be shedding for a while.
Well, speak about shedding. That's how they spread disease. They vaccinate people. And when you get vaccinated, you shed the virus.
Right, and that's what they call the herd immunity.
And so vaccination spreads the disease.
Yeah.
which accomplishes
We've talked about that a lot.
what they're trying to do here.
I don't know. I can't see people that sinister, but it could happen for sure. I mean, I'm a skeptic on that, but the scenario is there for sure.
Yeah.
And people are working on this in biolabs in cities where there's population, and as we know, it always seems to escape. I mean, it's all over the movies. I mean, every kind of lab always escapes, but in real life, it seems like it happens too. I mean,
well, the movie is the foreshadowing of what their plan is.
Well,
And
maybe.
oh no, it is. That's
Well,
the way it is. It's foreshadowing.
I'm not that
the
prophetic,
plan.
but I remember that 3 Mile Island. Remember the movie came out, and then all of a sudden the 3 Mile Island comes 3 months later.
Yes, right.
Did they plan that? I don't think so, but
You
these
don't
things.
really? Are you just doing that to placate? I mean,
No,
you
no, I
really
don't-
don't think they planned it.
The 3 Mile Island?
You don't
No,
think there was some interest in that?
no, I
don't
don't think
know.
so. I don't think people do that.
I think a lot of stuff is actually, and I don't think that's being negative. I think it's being, paying attention.
Well, perhaps. I don't guess I'm not that cynical about it. But, I mean, the possibilities are there. There are crazy people around there.
Well, it's
And,
not crazy. It's sinister. It's more than that. It's actually calculating. It's people that have big advantage to things like that happening. And Hollyweird is really
don't know.
involved in the foreshadowing of these things.
Yeah.
They're actually, that's part of their role.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they have so much money, they could probably make the downside of the financials wouldn't hurt them as much as it would the average person.
Because
they've
they're going to play the other side. They know it's coming.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an unanswered question for sure.
But let's talk about something good about it. How do we protect ourselves?
I think that's where we should go right
Yeah,
now.
I do too.
So how to prepare for a outbreak like this? When the first reports of the outbreak hit the airways in early January, several dozen people had already caught the disease in and around China city of Wuhan. In the weeks after, it's infected a lot of people. So at this point,
Well,
let's
we covered that last week.
so let's not talk about what the people there are going to do. Here in the United States, how do we protect ourselves? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing, don't go to China.
Well, you can't.
And don't go to Vancouver, maybe, because of the heavy traffic there.
And that's probably any port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, just stay informed on what they're saying. Shift it through with a grain of salt. A lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it's being used. Remember what we told you, that the coronavirus is very much a part of the common cold. There just happens to be a few strains that can be quite deadly, the SARS and the MERS.
Right.
And that's what we want to be careful of.
Well, for comparison, SARS, or severe acute respiratory syndrome, had a fatality rate of about 10%, which broke out in 2002 and 2003.
Right.
The seasonal flu had a fatality rate of 0.01%. So what's the outcome of this one? We don't really know yet, do we?
No, we really don't.
They're thinking of maybe the one doctor I talked to last night was saying that if you have it, then you're likely to pass it on to 2 people. But this one is coming up with a rate of 4.3. Now, the SARS had a rate of 2.5, which means it would affect 2.5 people. This one could affect up to 4 people at each person. So that's pretty risk. And now, if we go, there's a chart here on YouTube. I guess it went away.
There are some steps to help decrease. That's why you're looking for that. A number of airlines, for
Yeah, I guess
instance,
it's not there
have
anymore.
reduced or actually canceled their flights to China, and new arrivals from the country are being screened for the disease at many airports around the world. And within China, they've actually been isolating patients and protecting healthcare workers.
Yeah.
But planning for that outcome is an urgent necessity, even as containment efforts continue. They say that the next steps would be to require a strong and sustained response by governments. We need the government's response.
Well, they have done a pretty good job. They isolated China. Every border is pretty much closed. This is the tally. I found this on YouTube. And if you go real-time counter for the world map of Wuhan novel virus, you'll get that. And it just has, another site has the map, too.
Right.
And this is not showing the map because...
And they're showing what are the next steps. Of course, it's a priority to develop a vaccine.
Right.
And
Well, another critical factor is the rate at which the virus spreads. And the rapid rise in cases in China suggests that the virus is transmitted effectively from human to human, although scientific details about the pattern of how it spreads is not fully known yet.
Yeah.
In past outbreaks of respiratory disease, the rate of spread sometimes slows over time, probably because people become more aware and they take the steps to protect themselves.
Right.
One of the things, washing your hands, of course, covering your cough. If you have a cough, I say put a mask on.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing to do right now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Stay home if you're sick. That's a good thing. Canceling large gatherings and so on. And as more people fall ill, recover and become immune, people will remain susceptible.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that's true or not.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a global action plan, and, you know, we'll keep you posted.
Yep.
We'll be right back after this short break.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. So this article here is Our Food Culture Killing Us? And this is a book review by B. Wilson. And I'll put this in the show notes, of course. And it's talking about...
Yeah, which is actually, the book is called The Way We Eat Now, How the Food Revolution Has Transformed Our Lives, Our Bodies, and Our World. But before we get to that, the author, Susan Peterson, who wrote the article, was talking how she grew up mostly in Japan as a Lutheran family missionaries. And
they converted from Japanese culture to the Lutheran culture, let's say.
Or vice versa, you mean? They went from Lutheran to becoming a Japanese culture.
She said in 1955 to convert the Japanese to Lutheranism.
Oh, well, no, that's why they went there.
Yeah,
But
okay.
her
Right.
premise is that it was a switch up. They
Right.
went there to convert them, but instead they ended up converting to a Japanese lifestyle of eating.
Okay.
As a Lutheran family, they gave up their scalloped potatoes and meatloaf, for the beautiful fruits of the Japanese, rice and steamed vegetables. And she says the food she associates most strongly with her childhood is her father's fried rice, not of Japanese descent. He sauteed some onions, throw in whatever leftovers you found in the fridge, 2 hot dogs, some carrots, half a cup of peas, bada bing, pseudo-Japanese food, a transition from that.
Well, of course, me coming from the Netherlands, I was 6 years old when we moved to Canada, so we kept a lot of the traditions of Holland, the food, naturally, because we were used to it. In fact, when I went to school, I could not even stand to look at.
Yeah, that's what you said. You hated the food.
Yeah, I hated the food. I always was packing a lunch for that.
And what did you pack? What was it, Hollander?
Well,
boys
Gouda
like?
cheese,
Right.
Things like that. My mother gave me an apple, or she'd just throw a piece of meat in there, of chicken or something like that. Whatever she made the night before, usually is what
it was
she
like the leftover.
Yeah, kind of. But it was very difficult to eat a lot of things, and I remember having friends from different cultures, and when I would go in their home, the smell would be completely foreign. I had a black friend, completely foreign food. I had a guy who came from Germany, completely different than our Dutch and the Canadian food.
Wow.
So then when we moved to America, it was even more. Now, I remember going to high school in Canada, and that's when fast food, the A&W, came around. And when we moved to Detroit, I remember the first McDonald's in 1964, 65 on Grand River Avenue. And that's when the culture really started to change. Now, all of a sudden, you could grab something on the way.
Yeah, you grab something and people aren't cooking at home.
Right.
And so this book by B. Wilson, let's talk a little bit about what she says. Families with more than 1 or 2 children put them through a kind of sorting hat. And I somehow ended up as both a surrogate, she says, son, the one my father shouted for when he needed to move a couch, and a surrogate cook, left in charge when my parents had Bible study or worship. So, anyways, learned how to cook, roll a pie crust, fried chicken, etc. But then they left for Japan.
She was about 15
Left
years
Japan for Minnesota. This is the opposite way. When I was almost 15, and I could be trusted to put on the table a dinner that everyone would cook. And while we mostly went back to Lutheran food in Minnesota and began buying the kind of sugary cereals and soft drinks that are really at the root of the cause of obesity and diabetes in this world, we still ate more vegetables than any other family they knew. So interesting how when you start out in an environment as a child.
It's hard to break those old habits, and the smells are so important. And you walk into the house and your mother's cooking your favorite meal. Oh my goodness, your day is complete.
Yeah, and she said a real key thing was her father's garden. And they really ate out of the family garden, and they had to work the garden. But the author says, left her family and my faith before I was out of my teens, but the food ways of my childhood have stayed with me. And that's a key point, Nico. Much of what we did as a child, we carry on into adult life.
Yeah, now if we spring this forward to where the kids are growing up right now in the last 10 years, say you were born at the turn of the century, 2000, so here you're now 20 years old, and you may have come up completely on fast food and small dinners and things that, is completely foreign to the culture before.
Yeah, when we were little kids, going to McDonald's was like an event or a treat.
Maybe once a week.
Now it's kind of like a daily occurrence. So let's talk about this person's day. The typical way I lost my place. I would still shop almost daily, often by bike. And for 4 decades, I've cooked and sat down to dinner with housemates, family, or on my own almost every night. Not gone through a drive-through. Sure, I went vegetarian for a time in my 20s. I also learned that the white sauce and pie crust I made as a child have fancy French names. And developed more range. In other words, realized, there's more to it than just what they grew up as a child.
Yeah.
But I still don't cook the expensive cuts of meat that I never ate as a child, or buy prepared foods or order takeout. And the pasta and risottos I served my kids and their ever famished friends are, after all, just the Italian relations of my father's fried rice. Interesting.
Yeah. The culture of the food is really important, and you got to remember too that we have a lot of what I call fallback foods. You know, we have our primary foods, which I consider the meats and things like that. The secondary foods is the plant food. Then the fallback foods, I think, are the grains.
Yeah, they're for starvation.
Yeah,
for
and the reason
for a pandemic.
Yeah, and the reason we have those, of course, they can be stored.
Yes.
So we can, you know, have a lot of them. So it's important to realize that the potatoes and the rice and the wheat and all these things are the fallback foods, and they are not as nutritious. They probably have about 20% of nutrition of the meat, maybe half of the percentage of what the vegetables have. So we have those primary foods, which have just a lot of dense nutrients in it. Secondary foods, not too bad, but you know, you get them wild or you get them out of the garden, great. Now the fallback foods, we use those in starvation times. But the important thing is that our cultures never went back.
Yeah.
We started keeping these, the holy bread and the rice and things like that, as staples, where before we never had them as staples.
Exactly.
So we brought those staples with us from Holland when I went, and this is what they're saying too. She went to Japan, they took the American staples, and they took the Japanese staples back. But they also kept some of those primary foods and secondary foods in too, and I think that's more important. But realize, folks, that these secondary and these fallback foods aren't always the first choice. When things are good, you eat the meat.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that picture that we have on the telestrator, you know, it's kind of it's from an oil painting, kitchen table with game and vegetables, circa 1635 and to 1640. You know, I think that's how we ate. We ate the food that was growing. There's probably a lot more around. In this book, the author says, we think of how we eat within a framework of choice. But as B. Wilson tells in her new book, The Way We Eat Now, that is ridiculous. We choose within a contained food environment, one shaped by availability and advertising, right?
Big thing right there.
Prices and profits, traditions and trends. How we eat has less to do with conviction and still less to do with virtue than with habits and traditions, environment, and especially economics, that is, within the complex social order with which we live. For example, New York, you know, there's Michelin-star restaurants, and there's gourmet food trucks, farmers markets everywhere.
Yep.
They coexist with rampant inequality and ill health as well.
That's right.
Yep.
We'll be right back, folks.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride a next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So we're reading from this article, Is Your Food Culture Killing Us? And it probably is. In America in 1946, went through a terrible post-war period. Average meat consumption tripled between 1961 and 72. So people started getting back into
eating meat. Mm-hmm.
And confectionery consumption peaked in 1971, sparking an epidemic of tooth decay among preschoolers. McDonald's moved that year to Tokyo. So the transformation would be repeated more rapidly and often more disastrously in one country after another. The price of cooking oil
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, cooking oil tumbled, food became oilier.
Yeah, so they go, hey, this oil is cheap, let's just put it in everything.
Yeah, remember they gave McDonald's a year free just to switch from lard.
And that's when the heart disease really happened.
That's right.
You know,
And remember that in 1971, McDonald's was experimenting with these oils to get their French fries to taste just like the ones with the lard, and sooner or later they came up with a concoction to do that.
Right.
So this was devastating to us.
Actually, French fries and lard is a healthy dinner.
Pretty much.
Starch, if you're a healthy starch, but once you cook it in the oil
then it
that
becomes
we
toxic.
use all over the world, they become toxic.
So fast food, snack foods, carbonated beverage swept the country, and more calories.
But not healthy nutrients.
Right, came in these unsatisfied forms. So this happened in other countries, of course, Mexico, and then the rest of Latin America, China, India also went over this change. So people were getting less nutrition, but they were gaining weight.
Yeah, people were consuming more calories, maybe 500 more calories per day.
Than 50 years ago.
Than 50 years ago, in the form of foods that were energy dense but nutrient poor, which, you know, does a job of signaling the cells to eat even more, because the cells want nutrients.
That's right.
Not density.
In fact, what happens when you eat white bread, of course, there's not enough nutrients in the bread to digest it, so it takes it out of your bones.
This is the overweight, undernourished group, you know.
Yeah.
And so the author of the book, the reviewer of this book, says she does a credible job summarizing the economics and nutritional effects of these transitions. It's really what we've been talking about, from the real food to convenience food and the consequences of it.
Yeah, and of course the other consequences, that the family's not together for a meal like they are on these television shows, which still, you know, you like to see that family talking while everything is going on.
Let's go into more detail about how our culture of extreme, you know, changes, how the differences in different cultures. Because, you know, take meal times, for example. Most European societies, and you and I were talking during the break, once had a fairly strict meal time.
Oh, yeah.
Even though those norms differed, Germans often ate a main meal at midday and sat down to Abendbrot in the evening. Scandinavians ate dinner comparatively early, and the Spanish comparatively late. In Spain, they say you don't even sit down to dinner until 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. The cultures are different, but the important part of this whole thing is how you and I probably grew up. Is my parents insisted that you were home for dinner.
Yeah, but it says, the studies are saying that while sleep and work have fallen pretty much into conventional time periods, right? Eating has become unmoored. People are eating at all hours. And that really ties into how we've been sharing with all of you the importance of our circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
The body doesn't expect to get a banana at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
in the middle of the
And this
winter.
shows you how powerful the advertising is, because the advertising is what drew us out of that. And we have advertising for snacks, for fast food. You're in a hurry, boy, go here. Don't worry about cooking at home. You can't afford to cook at home. We got something cheaper here in the store. Pop it in your microwave and it's done in 3 minutes. These are the cultures that are destroying our health because of the advertising. And the advertising really, we know it works. No matter what you advertise, people are going to go for it for sure.
Eating has become something that around 10% of the people, give or take, might be doing at any given time. Recent research shows London families confirm fewer than a third manage to eat together most nights. I think that's a really true fact, that the family dinner table has disappeared. Although I see resurgence, in a lot of groups.
Yeah, and I think if you're wealthy, then you have a little bit easier time of making it because the food is good. You're probably going to go eating more meat and higher nutrition foods.
Yeah, listen to this, and it's not just the family meal, guys. Regular workplace meals have nearly vanished, too. Labor unions spent years struggling for decent meal breaks and regular hours, but factory canteens, just go to a machine and get yourself a soda and a bag of chips.
Many places, that's all you have, right?
And more work is shift work done in hospitals or offices with nothing but snack machines to turn to.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
very
what can be
true.
done?
Yeah.
Well, you can take it on yourself. That's the only way to do it right now, is make sure that you and your family start having meals together, start cooking at home, prepare things yourself, and don't rely on other people. And if you want to go out, to do it once in a while.
Yeah, listen to this. I think this is kind of cute. She says, the author says, people really go sleight of hand to call food real food, because they really want to have these treats. So, for example, it's the yogurt-covered strawberry bits that have more sugar than a Mars bar, right? Or the
So-called
pumpkin,
healthy snacks.
right? Or the pumpkin chia Powerball that has more sugar than even Ben & Jerry's chocolate ice cream. The protein bar, she says, is a license to eat candy and call it a virtuous main meal.
Yeah, I think if you're having to buy these meal replacement bars, you're probably eating wrong. Even if you just do it between meals. It's
Well, you're probably snacking and
Yeah.
having the 6 meals, and
Yeah.
I don't
and
think
you're not
the
giving
body.
your body rest, and that's the real important part that we're trying to say now. Your body needs rest from food, and eating once or twice a day might be better. Doing some small fasts, or even maybe a day or two if you want to. Some people do 10 days. I've never done that.
I told my daughter, I said, if you're eating 5-6 times a day, your body is busy all the time digesting food.
Yeah.
If you eat 2, maybe 3 meals, but no snacks, or even 1 meal a day, your body can get busy digesting you.
Yeah.
And when I mean digesting you in a good way,
Yeah.
cleaning up the bad tissues, getting rid of
Yeah, if you
inflammation.
have a nice 12 to 18 hours between a meal, now your body, after a while, it takes a lot of times 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours to digest this stuff. So 4 hours, now you've got another maybe 10 hours where you don't eat. Now your body's going into repair mode. Really important thing to do, as an athlete, getting injured, I have to pay attention to this, because if I'm constantly snacking, my knee's not going to get any better, or my, whatever is wrong with me, it's not going to get better. It's just going to stay in stasis.
Well, let's see what the author says. What's to be done? Downsize your plate and your glasses. Well,
Go back to these European plates that were this big.
that's what I buy. I
Yeah.
have a China addiction. I love to go to old vintage
yeah.
stores and everything. And they call them the luncheon plate. And it's slightly smaller, and so you can make your plate look full, but it's a better size for us,
Yeah.
And I think that eating regular meals and avoiding snacks, very common sense things. Eat more vegetables, she says, and less meat. Don't necessarily agree with that. But we know increasing the fast period and decreasing the feast period.
Yeah. It says, Wilson, however, insists that when diets are killing us, we are allowed to be pejorative, not towards our fellow eaters, but towards those corporations that have shoved bad food down our throats.
Yeah. But basically what you've been saying, Nico.
Yep.
It's all a marketing scheme.
Yeah. Pick up some Primal Edge, folks. We got the sale on, $25 off, and we'll see you after the break.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hanks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
And we've got a comment in the chat room on our discussion. Dudette from the UK says, my kids are starting to reduce meat. So bad for the environment.
Yeah. Well, actually, probably farming kills more animals than anything.
Yeah.
Once you take an acre of land where these animals are living and you
Put
pretty
soybeans.
much soybeans in it. I mean, you've killed all the little rodents and everything that's in there. You know, I've often said that the animals know what to do and the plants kind of know what to do too. If we leave them alone and let them grow,
Yeah.
sure, we're going to have hard times and good times, and we need to address those things. And we have tools for that. We have the fallback foods for things like that. But
I want to bring up her other comment is someone commented it's important to have meats in a balanced diet. Well, we believe the most important part of a balanced diet is having good animal-based protein. You know, some healthy vegetables that you can digest. Most of the digestion issues that we're seeing around the world are because we're eating plant-based foods that we weren't designed to eat, prepared not like we're supposed to prepare them to eat them.
And like you often said, it's the oils and things like that that accompany
The processed seed oils, right? Yeah, that we
those are the
use.
things that are really bad. So if you're eating,
If you're eating salads with salad dressing every day, you're a time bomb.
Sure.
You better be eating 16 pounds of steak.
well, also,
Okay.
I've often said that we're eating one vegetable.
I mean, do you know
got
why? Why do I say that about the salad?
Well, because of the oil.
Yeah, people are buying rancid seed oils that cause cardiovascular disease, cancer, and they can't even digest the salads. Really. Most people cannot digest leaf lettuce and so forth. So, yeah, no, the reason why is seed oils are rancid. They're called polyunsaturated fatty acids. They're PUFAs, and they're damaging to the human body. But they're very cheap and very profitable. And we've been conditioned to eat these things. Cooked veggies are very good. You're exactly right, because we break down the cellulose that actually a cow would normally do, and then we can eat it. Good point. So have
I
some
think
meat.
twice cooked is even better. You cook it, you put it in the fridge for a
Oh
while.
my gosh, I love cabbage. You're from the UK, you know. Eat that cabbage, eat it up again, you know. And same with if you're going to have some starchy potatoes, refrigerate them, heat them up. But
Don't
you're
make
right.
them a staple.
Yeah, have 6 ounces of meat a day, not 16.
Yeah.
Thanks for the comment. And
Thanks,
we'll
folks.
see you
We'll
guys.
see you next week.
Have a great day.